thoughts on South Africa's process of land redistribution. Ramaphosa met ambassadors, high commissioners, consul general and charges d'affaires from around the world in Pretoria. The meeting is key ahead of the 73rd session of the United Nations General Assembly on the 18th of this month. The briefing focused on the priorities and programs of South Africa, including the upcoming investment summit. Well, to give us more detail on President Ramaphosa's briefing, we're joined now by my colleague Nthakoana Ngatane, who's standing by for us. Nthakoana, what's the latest?
In South Africa, but also in the main.
Good afternoon, Nompu. First of all, President Ramaphosa started by paying tribute to the late Secretary General of the UN, Kofi Annan, who was laid to rest in Ghana yesterday, asking this gathering to observe a moment of silence in his honor. Then he moved on to the position that South Africa has taken in terms of its foreign policy, saying it was informed by the struggle against apartheid and the kindness that the country received around the world. He moved on to the issue of South Africa taking on that non-permanent seat of the UN Security Council, saying that South Africa thanks all the countries that supported its bid, but also saying South Africa commits itself to ensuring that its commitments will be fulfilled, including going for or calling for the reforms of the UN, including increasing the number of seats on the Security Council from 15 to 26 and ensuring 2 seats for Africa, permanent seats for Africa on the UN Security Council, as well as 5 non-permanent seats. But also, you talked about the issue of land. He had written text about how South Africa is ensuring that everyone is consulted like it did with the drafting of the Constitution, but he veered off that script to say that South Africa will find a South African-made solution. And of course, you know who he's talking to when he says that, to say that South Africa, when it is faced with challenges, it goes to talking and finding consensus among South Africans, that when the Constitution was drafted, more than 1 million people were consulted, and so far with the land redistribution process, more than 700,000 people have now contributed to that process. He concluded by saying South Africa will continue to play its role in the world in ensuring peace and stability like it has done in countries like Lesotho and the Democratic Republic of Congo. Nompu?
So why is it important for him to brief these diplomats about these issues when he's going to the United Nations anyway?
Well, Nompu, I think if you look at what he will be doing at the UN, first of all, this year the world is celebrating the centenary of Nelson Mandela, and we know that at the United Nations there will be a peace summit that will be held ahead of the General Assembly that is themed the 100th year of Nelson Mandela. But also South Africa will be hosting an investment conference or summit here where he was inviting these diplomats and ambassadors and high commissioners to get their countries to participate, but also to ensure that, like it happened with the BRICS, these countries can be on the sidelines of the summit to ensure that they participate but also benefit, so that their countries can find something useful out of that summit for themselves. He also reiterated the need for that Africa Free Trade Area Agreement to now be implemented to ensure that these countries, especially Africa, because he said while South Africa looks at the world at large, it focuses specifically on Africa to ensure that not only it succeeds, but the rest of the continent succeeds alongside South Africa.
Okay, Nthakoana, thank you very much for your report there.